Hello and welcome back to another Warcraft video. This time we're going to have a look at the tier 17 warrior, and you might be thinking to yourself, hey, you released that video maybe a month ago with 25,000 views that was also entitled the tier 17 warrior. Well, we all thought that was the tier 17 warrior at the time. As it turns out, it's the tier 17 mythic warrior. Of course, in Warlords of Draenor, the mythic gear is going to have a few more bells and whistles, and Blizzard are going back to the sort of more traditional idea of the hardest to get gear looking the most awesome, and then also, of course, being available to the least people, so kind of makes this interesting pyramid that you want to climb, or at least I want to climb. Personally, I'm okay with it, but let's talk about this normal bit of gear. So, one little thing, you may have seen the Warcraft video in this, and I just say watch it because the Warcraft stuff doesn't seem to have working belts at the minute, so it's sort of unfortunate that they've trended so highly sort of in YouTube at the minute, because a lot of people are being sort of misled. I don't know, they should stick up an annotation saying about the belt. But the good folks at MMO Champion have managed to get belts working in their models, so let's take a look at the fully belted up and ready for action version of the warrior. Okay, number one, I love that helm. I know it looks wacky, I know it looks weird, but I love it. There's just something about that thing. I think the eyes, I've always liked flaming eyes, come on, it's badass. So I like that. The two little slits below the eyes are pretty cool as well. And overall, it's just, I don't know, I think it looks imposing enough to certainly do the job. Another thing that I think's really cool is the shoulders. I've always kind of like crystally things, and well, these are crystally, and they're not absurd. Like, yeah, they're big shoulders, but they don't have 18-foot long spikes coming out of them at 17 different places. I think that's nice. Then moving on to the rest of the gear, I like the way that it is just wrought iron. It's strong, and you know, it definitely sort of communicates what a warrior is very well. In terms of spikes, well, come on, it's got to have at least a few spikes. It's a bit of Blizzard warrior armor. But I think the spikes actually work in this case. It's not like, say, the tier 16 warrior, which was just, well, full of horns for the sake of having more horns, when it just, you know, those horns had no business being there. Another thing that's pretty cool is the boots. I like these chunky boots. It just sort of fills out the set, I suppose. I don't know, there's been a problem with some sets where maybe the boots haven't been that great, and it just kind of throws the whole thing off balance when you look at it. Not too sure exactly what the words are to convey what I mean, but hey, look, nice chunky boots, I think it's cool, and the tier 17 Paladin's actually done a similar thing with its boots, which is nice. Now, the belt is a WWE belt, and I wouldn't have a problem with it being a WWE belt, if it wasn't for the fact that the actual legs and chest are textures that are just painted onto the character's body, whereas the belt is an actual 3D object. So when you look at that from the front, generally, it looks fine. But from the side, it just sticks out too much to the point where it's kind of silly. So I'm not too hot on the actual, I guess, mechanics of the belt, but I think that the design of the belt itself is nice. Another thing to mention as well is the gauntlets. I think they're really cool. I like the little sort of 3-starred or circled thingy that it has on it. I think it's just really awesome, especially in the green version. And let's just talk about coloring. So I think the coloring for the blue version is pretty good, though it does maybe do something to the overall tone and lighting of the gear that perhaps some people won't appreciate. The green one is a little bit more dark overall, and I find that the green one is perhaps a little bit easier on the eyes, and because of that, I think a lot of people might prefer the green one, though personally I think they both look really damn good. And then I think just the last thing, from the back, I think this actually looks pretty decent. You've got sheets of plate and a reasonable belt, and then of course just the little sort of cloth trappings and that sort of thing. So overall, I think from all angles, this is just a really solid warrior set. Now initially when I saw this, it was the very bland Warcraft version, and I was just thinking to myself, wow, this just doesn't look good in comparison to the tier 17 Mythic one. And I'll say yes, tier 17 Mythic looks a lot better, but now that I've seen this model with the belt and all that stuff and the kind of animated shoulders, I think this one still looks great. And it really does, so I am pretty damn happy. Anyway, that is it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments, and stay tuned to the channel for all the latest Warlords of Draenor news on a daily basis. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.